My name is Armin. I'm a full professor at the University of Osnabrück for political economy. For a long time I've looked at income inequality and then looked at different sections of the society, the lowest 10%, the upper 10%. But now I'm more interested in social classes. That's a measure which is based on occupations, so what kind of jobs people do. And then we distinguish between 6 or 12 groups: workers, technicians, civil servants, and we'll look at these groups because political attitudes are often shaped at the workplace and through the experiences we make while working. I mean, the classical example is that people worked at the assembly line, they joined unions and became organized and politicized through their workplace, and then they try to deal with very immediate problems at the workplace, but oftentimes it went further and they became engaged also in politics at the local level or in a party, and so that's a traditional way how the workplace can influence political behavior. We see both in an international comparison, but also I studied Germany in depth, is that over time the discrepancy in political engagement has grown very much. So back in the 80s or 70s, people, I mean, almost everyone participated in elections, no matter what the educational background or what kind of job one did. But over time, there has been a tremendous change so that people at the lower end of the distribution vote at much lower rates, whereas those who are highly educated or have decent, good jobs still vote at very high rates. So over time, not only turnout has declined on average, but actually it has become much more unequal over time. I think one of the core principles of democracy is political equality, and not just legal equality, but actually to have the equal chance to have an impact on political decisions. And as certain groups don't participate anymore, abstain from voting, don't take part in protest actions or whatever, there's a danger that decisions get biased against these groups, and that would fundamentally violate the principle of political equality. I mean, we look at the German Bundestag in that very specific project and look at decisions over 30 years. And what we want to find out is, do these decisions comply with what certain groups in the society want or oppose? And we find quite a striking pattern so far for a subset of questions that people from the working class or people with lower incomes hardly seem to have any impact on political decisions. What they want is not enacted, but people who have higher ranking jobs, civil servants or self-employed freelancers, they seem to have an impact, and the parliament seems to follow their wishes and preferences much more closely than workers or other groups. I mean, the first step would be to tackle the problem of unequal participation, because if more people participated, I guess the parties would have to pay closer attention to the whole range of the population and not just to certain subgroups. And then I guess we need more diversity in parliaments. Up to 80 or 90% of parliamentarians are graduates from universities. There's hardly anyone who worked at the assembly line or worked in the service sector or did other kinds of jobs. That means they don't have the kind of experiences ordinary people make in their daily lives. And I guess more diversity in that sense would increase the knowledge of the parliament and change decisions, and might have a positive effect on participation of these groups. Unequal participation is not something we can ignore longer if we are interested in the health of democracy, because it spills over into unequal representation and decisions.